This isn't your grandfather's football show. This is Hyper Turbo Skeuseball, the home of the lock of the week. And what a lock of the week it was last time, with my prediction of a Rams victory relying solely on the fact that there is a coach with enough chutzpah to bench Gardner Minshew. AOC may have started Sunday's game for the Las Vegas Raiders, but it was Gardner who ended it. Once Gardner Minshew hit the field, the lock of the week was in serious jeopardy. Luckily for Matt Stafford, he had me and the entire Lock of the Week fan base on his side as the L.A. Rams, prevailed and won the game 20-15. And with this Rams win, I am proud to say that since we have changed platforms and moved to YouTube, the Lock of the Week stands tall at 6-1, and it's as sturdy as ever. Now, stop me if you've heard this one before, but what is green and blue has a losing record and is located 25 kilometers within MetLife Stadium. Well, no, as a matter of fact, it's not Chris Cuomo. It's the New York Giants and the New York Jets. The MetLife brothers Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones have been on the south end of a northbound ass-kicking, both in fantasy football and on the field for realsies. With dumpster fires not being an uncommon sight in New York, but when a dumpster fire is both of the football franchises going up in flames, New York football fans tend to pay attention, get rowdy and vocal, and who knows, maybe contracts will be on the line if they don't start playing better soon. F in the comments for Rob Saleh. Unlike a fart in the bakery, the stank coming off New York football clings to the air statewide, with only a patch of fresh air surrounding Orchard Park. On Sunday, the Bills beat the Titans 34-10, and the Eagles stomped division rivals the Giants 28-3, and who could forget that primetime game where an aging Russell Wilson defeating an aging Aaron Rodgers as the Jets fell to the Steelers 37-15. No wonder Andrew Cuomo and Chris Cuomo don't live there anymore. If Sunday afternoon's Vikings-Lions showdown wasn't a crazy enough game for you, then imagine, if you will, the shock on my face when my beloved spouse had informed me that Haley Hawk Tua Welch is in a relationship with Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold. Now it all adds up, folks. Now I can see why Sam Darnold excels so well at the quarterback slide. And you know what? Let's hope the commissioner of the No Fun League does not create and impose a fine for spitting on dem fangs in an effort to keep the fans' interest on Queen Taylor at all times. Oddly enough, that is my exact feelings towards Taylor Swift. Just like the Iron Sheiky, baby. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders were not the only team that led their quarterbacks through a revolving door on Sunday. In Washington, Jaden Daniels got his start and was balling out as per usual. Until he wasn't. With Daniels in the blue tent for maintenance, Marcus Mariota got a turn at the helm of the Washington offensive wagon. If that's not enough quarterbacks for you, then how about the Carolina Panthers, who were their opponents? They stopped Andy Dalton's game early to show him the door as Bryce Young finished up the fourth quarter as the Commanders won 40-7. And for the first time in his Cleveland Browns career, the fans have cheered for Deshaun Watson. Unfortunately for Deshaun, the cheers came at the hands of him getting injured and not coming back for the rest of the season. Maybe if Amari Cooper would have stayed for one more week, and maybe if Jameis Winston wasn't backing up the backup, the Cleveland Browns could have come back to win this game, but the Rats are leaving the sinking ship in Cleveland, and the Browns lost to the Bengals 21-14. And even Michael's Appendix Jr. got to throw the ball a couple times on Sunday, and the Falcons' 34-14 defeat to the Seattle Seahawks Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins went for the quarterback slide and received a bloody nose from Seattle's defense and a short gain for his efforts. You see that, Commissioner? Bloody noses like that is why spitting on them fangs should not be punishable by the NFL. After a first-half beating from the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night, Baker Mayfield reached into his bag of tricks and produced out a Zyn pouch. The Buccaneers went on to score 21 points in the second half of the game, but still lost to the Ravens 41-31. Maybe a Zyn pouch is what Danny Dimes needs to keep his job in New York. Oh, and here's a game that everybody watched except for me. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 28-18. Now it is special guest week here on Hyper Turbo Skews Ball, and ladies and gentlemen, before I go into week 8, I would like to introduce you to a very special guest that only you OGs will remember. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for my boss.
Hello, friends. This is President Jack. Did it all for the Nookie Tunny. It has been a long time since I've left my gold-plated office to drop truth bombs and steal your various girls, like I was that dastardly Rizzler. If you chowder heads think that this is the end of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, then you, sir, are an idiot. I have in my life seen a lot of football games and wrestling matches, and I can tell when somebody is about to start cooking. I don't care what the Boston Bean Peters have to say about their hotshot Drake May. The Jets are going to defeat the Patriots with grace and ease. Me and Fireman Ed will be knocking back cold Arnold Palmers and laughing at New England's misfortune. That's my lock of the week. Smell Yater, chumps?
Even though he pays my salary and all that junk, it's always a treat to hear from Mr. Tunney. Now moving on to week 8, we got a Monday night matchup here, with Russ Wilson's record-breaking passes in his Steelers debut and Justin Fields leading the Steelers to a 4-2 record before handing the keys over to Russ. Pittsburgh is going to become more than just a hockey city this year. On Monday Night Football, the Steelers will host the New York Giants in the latest attempt to out-Giants coach Brian Daboll. And ever since this show began 3 years ago, I have ruthlessly mocked the Giants' style of play and management in hopes that somebody would take the hint and that the Giants could move on from Daniel Jones and Daboll. The Steelers may have more luck than this humble host at getting certain Giant members kicked out of the club. Fee, fi, fo, fum, get rid of Brian Daboll first, 'cause he's a bum. The Miami Dolphins look to take their playoff hopes off of life support as Tua Tagovailoa nears his return. The Dolphins are hosting the Cardinals on Sunday, and unlike George Lucas's failure, this guy is calling for the Red Tails to fly high over Miami. Red Tails? Only 4 listeners are going to get that reference because only 44 people saw that movie. Oh, speaking of 44, number 44 on the Formula One grid, Knight of England and minority owner of the Denver Broncos, Lewis Hamilton drove into the gravel and did not finish his race at the Austin, Texas Grand Prix last Sunday. Fortunately for Broncos fans, Sir Hamilton not knowing how to drive is no longer symbolism for the Broncos team, as they have more wins than Lewis Hamilton does this year. As the Broncos are better at traveling on gravel than an F1 car, and also the Broncos' opponents are the lowly Carolina Panthers this week. Smells like horse plop and a Broncos win on Sunday. And on the topic of Broncos, the horse-faced wino Kamala Harris and the horse's ass Daddy McDonald's Trump are gearing up for a major Democratic battle, while football fans already know Washington belongs to the commies. Commanders! Washington takes on the Chicago Bears, and sadly neither presidential candidates have the Bears or Commanders' interests at heart, as Kamala is a 49ers fan and McDonald is a Giants fan turned into a Chiefs fan. I don't think the people of Washington have had a Washington football fan president since Nixon. And I think even Nixon would agree that after defeating the Vikings, that you could say that the Detroit Lions are on a roll. So whether you're a Steelers fan waving your terrible towel, or whether you live in Washington and you shake your jowls, When the claws are out and the manes are freshly blow-dried, all the football fans and football teams fear the hungry Lions. From San Francisco to Tampa Bay, and this week it's gonna be Tennessee who will be shaken in their boots. With all signs pointing at Mason Rudolph getting the start, it's going to take more than a Miracle Whip latte to get the win over Jared Goff when his arm starts firing Qassam rockets into the end zone. I can't tell you if Detroit's going to utilize a boots-on-the-ground run game or if they're going to go all-out air raid offense, but one thing that I can tell you is that Dan Campbell is going to be smiling all game long because the Detroit Lions are the Hyper Turbo Skewsball Lock of the Week.